We start things off from Fortune magazine. Now, I say this kind of tongue-in-cheek, ladies and gentlemen, but I think the new climate change is the data center protesting. Because if you have a data center near you, then you're probably very familiar with this. Now, a close friend of mine's father, actually who built the community or suburb across the street from a data center, says that they hear the obviously the humming noise, I guess would be the best way to describe it, the humming noise or the buzzing noise coming from the cooling fans from that data center. And yeah, it's not very pleasant. I would argue that data centers are needed for many of the needs that we have today in our society with data and information and the internet and gateways and connections and all these sorts of things. But of course, I think they shouldn't be built near residential areas is my argument. I don't oppose them, just not in residential areas, right? They need to be in, they need to be in a commercial area, not in residential areas or, obviously for businesses. So we see that here. Data center hate is snowballing, and construction setbacks in the first 3 months of 2026 have already exceeded last year's report finds. That's extraordinary. We're going to read just a brief part of this because there's other things I want to cover with you guys today. So earlier this year, Natalie Investments, a large-scale development firm, withdrew its annexation and rezoning application for a proposed data center in Wake County, North Carolina. The campus was projected to be about 190 acres with 6 buildings, all about 70 feet tall. Wow. So that's 7 stories. The developer cited zoning ordinance changes that push back the construction of the proposed 250 megawatt facility, but the scrapped plans also followed community protests, petitions, and participation in public meetings over concerns about the data center's water use, air quality impacts, and increased costs, not to mention the noise that they make. I can't describe it to you. It almost sounds like a distant airplane kind of sound, just that constant noise from the chillers that they use there. And of course, we see here from Gallup, see some of the polling here. We see 7 in 10 Americans oppose construction data centers of artificial intelligence in their local area, including nearly half, 48%, who are strongly opposed. Barely a quarter favor these projects, with 7% strongly in favor. I guess I would fall in 7%. But again, I want to emphasize here that they should be built not in commercial areas, not in residential areas or near residential areas. I think that's an awful idea. Why would they even consider something like that? Now, kind of the inside joke with us who test LLMs and AIs and AGIs and stuff is that the AI was presented with a question from the medical community, and of course this is also tongue-in-cheek, whether or not the AI could discover like cures for cancer and things, and it said, sure, I just need more data centers, right? So it's kind of a bit of a joke that it could do it within it could say, in the next 17 years, but I could do it faster if there were more data centers, or 5 years or something like that. It's kind of like the inside joke. But as we can see here, federal regulators order grid operations to speed power to energy-hungry AI data centers, because this is the governments and others want this to go out there. And you can see here's these big chillers. You see these big chillers on top of here, and it's not like an air conditioner maybe kind of an air conditioner fan sound. If you hear that fan sound from your AC unit, it kind of sounds like that, but it has kind of this really droning noise. Very annoying. Federal regulators on Thursday ordered regional grid operators to help large energy users connect more quickly to the nation's inefficient and aging electronic transmission system, a step they said is needed to accommodate surging demands for power-hungry artificial intelligence. Now, they did word this correctly, because it's more the artificial intelligence requiring this versus communities and others who want access to the internet and, of course, phone centers and other things, for example, for your telephone, the big cell towers and these sorts of things. So I found it interesting. Energy Secretary Chris Wright had urged the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to act in an effort to help the United States better compete with China for superiority in the fast-growing AI center. See, China doesn't have this problem because they're a communist country. They can put whatever they want, anywhere they want, whenever they want. See, they don't have the same levels of ethics and morals and other things that they have to observe. They simply do what they need to do, however they need to do it. But I wanted to give you guys a bit of a glimpse here from Good Morning America. ABC News had exclusive access to a Google data center. Now, I had the good fortune of going to several YouTube creator days where I went to Google downtown. Now, these aren't the massive data centers that you see here. The one we went to here in downtown, I think mostly what we saw were just individuals that worked there. I didn't see any of what they're showing here, but we'll go ahead and take a look.
You're good to go? We're in. This is like out of sci-fi. It is.
This morning, our rare exclusive look inside the server room of a Google AI data center. Thousands of advanced computer chips stored in trays and racks, processing information 24/7.
So if you're looking at your Gmail or your YouTube videos or you're pulling up maps, all of that is getting processed on these servers right here.
Site manager Thomas Gamble says the 600-acre campus in Alabama is now expanding.
How soon could we see a data center pop up here?
I think you'll probably see walls coming within the next couple of months.
As tech giants race to build out this infrastructure, recent Gallup polling shows 71% of Americans oppose the construction of AI data centers in their areas, citing concerns over strained resources, noise, and higher utility bills. Already, Americans' electricity bills have soared 40% in the past 5 years, outpacing overall inflation.
There's a lot of negative sentiment as we're building. We're trying to figure out the best, most efficient use of all the power, the water, any of the systems we can.
Gamble shows us how this site built its own power substation.
This puts us on an island separate of the rest.
Ensuring Google pays for all of the massive amounts of electricity used here instead of having neighbors foot the bill. A pledge the company has made nationwide.
The best analogy about a data center is we're just a lot of servers that's storing information just like books are in your library.
People do not think of data centers like public libraries right now.
But it's just a very large public library because we're organizing the world's information and making the systems operate.
And I think you guys get the idea here, and that's correct. And we do have these type of centers here in Georgia, in areas of Georgia. They're not near residential areas. They are in commercial areas because these are needed. I mean, when you, like she said, when you're looking at your videos, when you're watching YouTube, when you're doing things online, checking your email, doing any of these processes that you do every single day, watching this video right now, is because of these data centers. They're absolutely massive. If you've ever been near any of these buildings, they're absolutely extraordinary. But like I said, the center that I went to at Google was more where the office workers that do a lot of the work behind the scenes versus it being a large data center, because these things are just absolutely massive. But let me know if you have any of these data centers in your community or in your area. And the one near us is very similar to this building, but it's much taller. It's not 7 stories. I would say probably maybe 5 or 6 stories. I know I'm splitting hairs here over the height, but it is pretty massive. And during the day, when they leave for the evening, they actually have the local county sheriff out there to direct traffic because of all the people that work there. But definitely let me know down in the comment section if you're familiar with this, if you've had any experiences being around data centers. Has your neighborhood and community been impacted by the potential building of these data centers? Let me know down in the comment section. And I do want to thank all you guys across New Tech, BitChute, and Rumble for your guys' continued support. You've been amazing. Thank you so much, guys. It certainly helps out the channel with all your guys' efforts. And, of course, that's what I had for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so avail yourselves to that. If you order frequently from Amazon or a Prime member, you can use my landing page link. Your privacy is protected. And speaking of privacy online, my favorite virtual private network, VPN Trust Zone, is down there. You guys can check it out. No fuss, no bloat. Get you straight to what you want to do. But I want to thank all you guys across New Tech, BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. And of course, everyone here on YouTube. Appearing there on the screen, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notification. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys behind the Galaxy phone camera next week.